Hello and welcome. This is a story, a prediction, how I think gold is going to fare as we head into the 20s. And I'm going to be talking about the price, but I also want to talk about just an interesting prediction that I think is basically on the horizon because a lot of stuff about this manipulation on the markets is what I'm going to be going on. But for me to do this, I have to do this over 4 slides to go through what the next 1,000 days would be like. So first off, how I think the next 120 or so days, next 4 months, basically into February of next year. And to say going up to 2,600 would be an aggressive move, well, yeah, but that's why I have to put many different ones. As one of the predictions is that we have not seen anything yet. And even at this point, we haven't seen anything yet for where the true major volatility is going to come into play. I think it's going to get so bad it becomes so obvious that what results as far as how the markets move and everything will come into play as well. I'll be predicting Saturday and Sundays gold will be trading, but as we can see just in here, why does it do nothing for 2 days? Well, that's because that was Saturday and Sunday. And there's a few other times you can see lines just doing it for 2 days. That's just how it goes. We don't have gold prices and silver prices moving on those days. So when I simulated those 2 days, they were easy for percentage moves, 0% gain or loss each of those times. However, now as far as where I see things going towards, 1900 and change was the previous high. So as I got it set up, normal working its way up, this high here would be that next Fibonacci level that I've talked about. Come back to well, in here we can see below 1600. And then just a phenomenal move here. That would rise it up to, well, of course, over 2,600. But moves like this, 1900 to 23 to 24, that would be like 20 something percent, and then another like 8% for this. So, yeah, that to me is realistic that it could happen in 3 months, for 4 or 5 months from now. And I'm hoping what I talk about, if it happens longer than it states, but the markets and everything's going to happen as it is. I obviously can't really control anything of which at all. So let's move forward some more days. Let's look for 1 year from now, like 365 days. And to say that I think things are going to become very aggressive is an understatement. And again, like I stated before, the volatility, I mean, this is the 120-day point was like right in here. So now we got situations like this and this that are going to be part of the next level manipulation that I think is going to appear within these markets. Manipulation in these levels of the big market movers within this market. And don't be surprised if they're also working within the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market. So I reflected some interesting moves on each day when I looked at it, like how could they work the two together. And I tried to do the best that I could. But as I talk about obvious situations, here's gold going up to 5,000 and back to 32. But when you have these rallies like this, those types of spots could come in. And then some sort of news would make whatever happen in here. But then have the major capitulation type of stuff. And this is the things that would really make headlines on the community as far as the truth seekers and what's going on. But of course, just gold getting that 5,000, it's oh my goodness, it takes less than a year to get there. The move that would take from like here to here would in itself is big. And I think we're going to see that situation come in. To me, 5,000 I think is nothing. Now this is a linear chart, so let me make it into a log scale next. And I think one of the things, and you can see in here, one of the things we're going to see is that you do the log scale so that you can actually see what happened in here. But this is like nothing volatility. This isn't much at all. And now we can see with this Again, one of the predictions I think is we're going to have this increase of volatility like we have never seen before. So we have a situation where it's breaking up to 7,300. So we've done 365 days. Let's take a look at the complete lot that I've done with gold going for 1,000 days, and going above 7,300 is what it does. And that 7,300 is like here. So 365 days, you can see it go up to it and then just continue the major moves and a major price consolidation of huge, huge forms. And people be talking about the manipulation that would bring this such a massive fall. This date here is the time in which you can now get Bitcoin on cryptocurrencies. It's traded. I think some things will happen where like the whole fallout of those markets, and it is the changes there. We're now seeing that gold, the way you trade it is the way you trade cryptos. Basically, that's another way of saying such. And the amount of money that goes into gold and for silver, we'll get that in the next video. Wow, but the amount that goes into gold would just make a move like this come into place. So, and here we are now in a spot where I would call this moving to the final straw of inflation, because you'd be most likely noticing the move up to 5,000 here for world inflation is pretty much as we're seeing it now, just normally small. There'd be a lot of news in the market, probably having inflationary talks or just different stuff of bad economy news, definitely bad towards the dollar. You'd probably start to notice inflation would become more noticeable on a month to month to quarter, at least quarter to quarter level. But yeah, month to month level as you be getting into this. But at this stage here, this is where I would believe the true start of the real hyperinflation for the global economy would be coming into play. So they might be a few hundred, whatever amount of days after this, and that would be it. You would no longer have this chart against the dollar because it just wouldn't trade against the dollar. This thing would be trading against other things like silver and Bitcoin and whatever else that may be working at that time. And again, this is something I hope doesn't go to day 994 here, maybe 19, maybe 2,000 days from now. But it wouldn't surprise me uh, either way among that situation. And at the volatility on this, if you're looking at it in this stage, you're a long ways away from it taming down to a decent level. You have situations and times where it does for bits and pieces, and that's just going to happen. And this is the tame volatility for what everything in here is going on at this stage. So I have put this at the time frame of where the shit hits the fan, everything gets crazy, would be really around this point. And the rush to get into gold. Well, this would be where it would be available on the blockchain, and there'd be rushes and get in here for people to actually get the metal. Now, of course, for timing in here, my prediction, I guess, based on how I do it, is in little under a year from now, we'll break out from that 2,600 mark and make it up to near 20,000. Because I don't think 5,000 is much at all. And I got this going to six figures, over 100,000. And of course, the setup as this is, when it breaks this level, it could be 300,000, 1 million kind of deal. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.